Namaskar, Vanakkam, and good morning. May I request all our distinguished guests on the dais and ladies and gentlemen to please stand for the national song. Thank you. We shall now begin the inaugural ceremony of Sri Aurobindo Society's celebrations of the 150th birth anniversary of Sri Aurobindo and 75th year of India's independence by invoking the divine light of knowledge and harmony. May I now request our esteemed chief guest, Honorable Union Minister of Home Affairs, Sri Amit Shah ji, Honorable Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry, Dr. Tamilesai Sundara Rajan ji, Honorable Chief Minister of Puducherry, Sri N. Rangasamy ji, and Sri Aurobindo Society Chairman, Sri Pradeep Narang ji, as well as Honorable Speaker, Puducherry Legislative Assembly, Sri R. Selvam ji, to please light the lamp to officially inaugurate the event. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Today, April 24th, is indeed a special date, as it was on this date in 1920 when the mother arrived in Pondicherry, her second and final arrival, to be with Sri Aurobindo and to collaborate in the supramental yoga to bring down a new truth consciousness on the earth, which is paving the way for a new world, a new age. The mother once said that while her body was born in Paris, her soul had declared that it was Indian. In 1937, about the significance of this date, April 24th, she said that the anniversary of my return to Pondicherry was the tangible sign of victory over adverse forces. Since August 15, 2021, Sri Aurobindo Society, through its various branches and centers across the country, has been organizing various programs to celebrate the year-long birth anniversary of Sri Aurobindo, 150th anniversary of Sri Aurobindo. But until today, we haven't had the occasion, because of the pandemic primarily, to have an official grand occasion to inaugurate the event. And we are grateful that today is that date we are doing that. And I now request our Vijay Bhai, Shri Vijay Poddarji, to officially give the welcome address. And before he comes over, I would like to briefly introduce him. We all call him Vijay Bhai, Shri Vijay Poddar. Vijay Bhai grew up at Sri Aurobindo Ashram since the age of 7 under the care and grace of the mother, completing all his education at Sri Aurobindo International Center of Education. As a pillar of Sri Aurobindo Society, he has initiated many projects to take forward society's vision and aim. He's Member Executive for Administration and Finance, as well as the Director of Sri Aurobindo Institute for Research in Social Science. His office door is always open for anyone and everyone, even though he's busy holding important responsibilities and meetings for various organizations and affiliates operating under the umbrella of Sri Aurobindo Society. So Vijay Bhai, may I please request to come and officially give the welcome address for the event?
Good morning and Jai Hind. Honorable Home Minister of India, Shri Amit Shah ji, honorable dignitaries seated on the dais, representatives of Pondicherry who are here with us today, on behalf of Sri Aurobindo Society, I am very happy to extend a warm welcome to you on this very special occasion. अमित भाई, आपके स्पेशल खास स्वागत 2 कारणों के लिए है। एक चीज़ मैंने सुनी है कि श्री अरविंद खुद आपके मनसा घर में पधारे थे और आपके परदादाजी से मिले थे। दूसरी चीज़ मैंने सुनी है कि उस समय उन्होंने उनको कुछ गाइडलाइंस दी थी गवर्नेंस और एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के बारे में। मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूँगा कि मैंने सुना तो है, क्या ये सच है? और क्या कुछ भी है आपके पास, क्या शर्मिंद ने उस समय पर दादाजी को कहा था? कुछ भी अगर हो तो आप हमारे साथ शेयर करिएगा, ये बड़ा हमारा सौभाग्य होगा। दूसरा कारण ये है कि जिस कुर्सी पे और जिस पोजीशन पे आप बैठे हैं, उस पे स्वाधीन भारत के महान नेता, पहले गृह मंत्री सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल ने उसको सुशोभित किया था। और आज अगर भारत यूनाइटेड और स्ट्रॉन्ग है, इसका बहुत महान श्रेय सरदार वल्लभ भाई को जाता है। और अगर उस समय हमने उनकी बात सुनी होती, आज कश्मीर का प्रॉब्लम नहीं होता, चाइना का प्रॉब्लम नहीं हुआ होता, अगर हमने उनकी बात सुनी होती। I would like to share with you something which I found of interest. In the same month, December 1950, both Sri Aurobindo and Vallabh Bhai Patel passed away. And exactly 1 month before that, in November 1950, Sri Aurobindo had given a statement pointing out the future intentions of China and the danger India faced. And what is interesting is, roughly the same time, within a few days, Vallabh Bhai had written a letter to Jawaharlal Nehru, again warning him against the intentions of China. And the two statements are amazingly similar and extremely prophetic of what happened later between India and China. In fact, there is an interesting postscript 13 years later, after the Indochina War in 1962, the then President of the USA, John F. Kennedy, was shown what statement Sri Aurobindo had given, and he could not believe that Sri Aurobindo could have given that statement in 1950, warning what China would do. जब भारत स्वतंत्र हुआ, बहुत चैलेंजेस थी, मेजर डिफिकल्टीज थी. आज के दिन भी हमारा भारत बहुत ह्यूज चैलेंजेस फेस कर रहा है, अंदर से भी और बाहर से भी. और इसलिए हम सब की, all our prayers are with Modi ji and you, that the Divine Mother gives you the light, gives you the strength to lead India in these difficult times and to make India a leader in the world in every field. Amit Bhai, we are grateful to you for having accepted our invitation to inaugurate the celebrations for the 150th birth anniversary of Sri Aurobindo and the 75th anniversary of India's independence. And the question we ask ourselves, how best shall we celebrate this momentous occasion? No doubt, we have to have many programs, events, talks, many things, and they are all needed. But we feel this will not be sufficient. What we need is our concrete actions to build the new India of Sri Aurobindo's and Swami Vivekananda's dreams. That is what will be our real offering and celebration. And this is possible only on a strong foundation of true nationalism. What is the true meaning of nationalism? I would like to read to you just a few inspiring words from what Sri Aurobindo said to the people, but most to the youth of India more than 100 years ago. And I quote, I'm quoting the words of Sri Aurobindo, little changes. What is nationalism? It is not a mere political program. Nationalism is a religion that has come from God. Nationalism is a creed which you have to live. If you have realized that you are merely instruments of God for His work, then you are truly nationalists. Then there will be a blessing on our work, and this great nation will rise again and become once more what it was in the days of its spiritual greatness. You, the youth, are the instruments of God to save the light, the spirit of India. You need to develop 4 qualities for this great endeavor: faith, selflessness, courage, and original thinking. How can there be any fear when you are conscious of Him who is within you? You have to work for this great and ancient nation because India has to save the world. The time has now arrived for our motherland, where nothing is dearer than her service. Work that she may prosper, suffer that she may rejoice. All is contained in that one single advice. These are the words of Sri Aurobindo to the students of the Bengal National College more than 100 years ago. और इस प्रयास में मैं कहना चाहूँगा आपको कि सारी श्री अरबिंदो सोसाइटी हम जो कुछ भी कर सकते हैं, जो कुछ भी हमारी क्षमता है, आपके साथ जुड़े हैं और मोदी जी के साथ जुड़े हैं कि जो आपने ये लिया है बड़ा अभियान नए भारत का, उसमें जो भी हम योगदान कर सकते हैं हम सब मिलकर खुशी से करेंगे। इसके अंदर हमने कुछ शुरुआत की है। यू विल बी ग्लैड टू नो कि हमने हमारे इनिशिएटिव का नाम भारत हमारी माता दिया है, इंडिया आवर मदर। We are consciously involving the youth as more than theory and philosophy. They have to learn to take up the responsibilities. And we have already started working in several fields and directions. जैसे एग्जाम्पल के लिए हम लोग गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स में काम कर रहे हैं और हमने 22 लाख टीचर 30 स्टेट्स ऑफ इंडिया के अंदर कांटेक्ट किया है और अमेजिंग रिस्पांस आया है। हम लोग 60 विलेजेस के अंदर इंटीग्रल विलेज प्रोग्राम कर रहे हैं जहां पे 1,50,000 लड़कियों और महिलाओं को हमने डिजिटल फाइनेंशियल लिटरेसी में ट्रेनिंग दी है। हम लोग हेल्थ के अंदर पीपल हु आर ओल्ड, टर्मिनली इल, हेल्पलेस, चिल्ड्रन विद स्पेशल नीड्स, सस्टेनेबल एग्रीकल्चर, लीडरशिप, और एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण पार्ट हमारे काम का है भारत, सच्चा भारत, भारत की आत्मा, जिसके अंदर हम लोग इंटीग्रल योगा, संस्कृत, गीता, उपनिषद, वेद, इंडियन म्यूजिक, इंडियन डांस, इंडियन आर्ट, इन सब फील्ड्स में बहुत कुछ काम शुरुआत हुआ है। यहाँ समय नहीं है उसकी डिटेल्स देने का, पर एक बुकलेट आपके पास होगी जिसके अंदर एक ग्लिम्स इसकी दी हुई है। अ वेरी सेंट्रल प्रोजेक्ट ऑफ इंडिया आवर मदर, भारत हमारी माता, इज स्वर्णिम पुदुचेरी, गोल्डन पौंडीचेरी। Pondicherry is a union territory, and the Prime Minister Modi ji had once said that the union territories should try to become role models in inclusive development, reaching out to the most vulnerable and marginalized. Drawing inspiration from this, we are working to make Pondicherry a model state, a center of excellence and training in every field, bringing the best practices from all over the world. We will learn from everyone and everywhere, and at the same time, based on the deeper spiritual foundation of India, our ancient knowledge systems and wisdom. Here too, the youth are encouraged to take the lead. All aspects of life are being taken up. Education, health, agriculture, rural development, tourism, arts, sciences, technology, sports, skilling and entrepreneurship, even a model police force and a model prison. It will be a smart city, but with a difference. It will be a hub for innovation and research, trying out new ideas, encouraging local talent to come up. We have done an innovative research in homeopathy in agriculture and got some amazing results. आपको बहुत खुशी होगी जान के हमको क्या results मिले homeopathy in agriculture में. As important, and this is very, very important as all the above, we would like to make Pondicherry a model of harmony and oneness, breaking all divisions of faiths, religions, castes, gender, an example for the rest of India and the world. And Pondicherry is indeed ideal for this effort and endeavor. In this effort, we are trying to bring together the people of Pondicherry, the state and the central governments, the Pondicherry University, JIPMER, the NGOs, the corporates, in a collaborative effort to create a golden Pondicherry for the sake of India and a golden India for the sake of humanity. अमित भाई, हमको इसके अंदर आपका पूरा सहयोग, आपका पूरा सपोर्ट होगा, जो हमको मालूम है आने वाला है, जरूर आएगा, और उसके साथ विद द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट एंड द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट, ये जो सपना है, मैं जरूर बहुत फेथ कॉन्फिडेंस के साथ कह सकता हूँ कि एक दिन ये सपना हमारा श्री अरविंद का सपना, विवेकानंद का सपना साकार होगा, पौंडीचेरी में, भारत में, सारी दुनिया में. And what better offering can we make on this happy occasion of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav and the 150th birth anniversary of Sri Aurobindo. I would like to end on a very personal note. जब मैं छोटा था, बहुत चेस खेली है और बहुत शौक से खेली है और बहुत की है. तो हम लोग पौंडीचेरी को मॉडल बनाने का कोशिश तो कर रहे हैं, पर मैं एक थॉट आया कि शायद आपके सहयोग से पौंडीचेरी चेस में भी भारत में ऊपर आगे आ जाए. You don't know perhaps Amit Bhai's connection with chess. So I would say, may the blessings of Sri Aurobindo and the mother be on all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vijay Bhai, for inspiring us and for giving these interesting anecdotes about the history of Sri Aurobindo Society's work as well as other aspects. I would now request our elders, Sri Pradeep Narangji as well as Sri Vijay Bhai, to present our distinguished guests, our dignitaries, with a token of remembrance for this special occasion. May I first request Sri Pradeep Narangji to felicitate Honorable Union Minister of Home Affairs, Sri Amit Shahji, by presenting a small token of our appreciation and a remembrance of this moment. Pradeep Bhai, please also present a small token to Dr. Tamilisai Soundararajan, Honorable Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry. And to Honorable Chief Minister of Puducherry, Sri N. Rangaswamiji. And Pradeep Bhai will also honor, please, our guest, Honorable Sri R. Selvanji, Speaker of Puducherry Legislative Assembly. And Pradeep Bhai, please also felicitate Sri Manoj Das Gupta ji, Managing Trustee of Sri Aurobindo Ashram. May I now request Sri Vijay Bhai to present the token of remembrance to Honorable Home Minister of Puducherry, Sri A. Namashivayam ji. Also to Sri TML Kalyan Sundaram, Member, Puducherry Legislative Assembly. And to Sri Ashwini Kumar, Chief Secretary, Puducherry. And last but certainly not the least, to Honorable Vice Chancellor of Pondicherry University and a friend of Sri Aurobindo Society, Professor Gurmeet Singh ji. Thank you. Thank you, Pradeep Bhai. Thank you, Vijay Bhai. Ladies and gentlemen, Sri Aurobindo Society has adopted Pondicherry Prison as a model prison project with an aspiration that the work done there may be replicated for the whole of India. Many innovative tools, programs, and practices have been adopted there and are being used for various reformation projects to rehabilitate the inmates. A small hamper of gifts has been lovingly prepared by some of the prison inmates, and I request Mamta Prem from Sri Aurobindo Society, Mr. Ravideep Singh Chahar, IG Prisons, and Mr. Bhaskaran, Jail Superintendent, to please present the gift hamper to our chief guest, Sri Amit Shah. April is a doubly special month because of another date, April 4th. It was on April 4th in 1910 that Sri Aurobindo arrived in Pondicherry. An explorer and adventurer in consciousness, he had once remarked that he was first and foremost a poet and a politician, and only later a philosopher. We began our program with national song, Vande Mataram. It was Sri Aurobindo who awakened the Shakti of India's soul when he infused a spiritual force and power in the mantra of Vande Mataram, an invocation to Mother India given by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee in Anand Math. And once that was done, it was as if the whole country awakened with a fiery aspiration for freedom. And Vande Mataram, as we know, was also the name of the English language nationalist publication that was started by Bipin Chandra Pal in August 1906 with only 500 rupees in his pocket. Sri Aurobindo was not only the principal writer and editor of this publication, he was also the one who directed the entire policy of this publication from 1906 to 1908 before his sentence in Alipur prison. May I now request Sri Pradeep Narangji, Chairman Sri Aurobindo Society, to address the gathering. And before he comes on the dais, I would just like to briefly introduce Pradeep Bhai, as we endearingly call him. Drawn to the teachings of Sri Aurobindo and the Mother, Pradeep Bhai decided to dedicate himself to spreading the light of their vision in various ways, giving up an illustrious business career. In his 4 decades of dedicated service to the Mother and to Sri Aurobindo Society, he has guided the setting up and management of many schools running across the country under Sri Aurobindo Society, besides overseeing several aspects of the works of the society. As Pradeep Bhai always reminds us, the Mother is not only the founder, but the permanent executive president of Sri Aurobindo Society, and as chairman, he is merely holding the chair for her. Somewhat reminiscent of Bharat, who looked after the kingdom of Ayodhya as a humble servant to Sri Ram, to the Paduka of Sri Ram, the king of Ayodhya. So may I now request Pradeep Bhai to please address the gathering. Okay, either way is good.
I think this is better because that's too high for me. I think you can hear me better now. This gathering today was supposed to be held in February, when the Prime Minister was to come here after he announced the high-level committee. He was to come here, and on the Youth Day announced the opening of the celebrations. That could not happen because of various problems regarding COVID, etc. So it got postponed. So this was in our hearts that some work had remained incomplete. So we took it upon ourselves to invite the respected Home Minister, because he is the chairman of the National Implementation Committee of the celebrations. So it was very appropriate that we invited him, and it is even more appropriate that he said yes. Knowing that how busy he is, we had to fix a date on which we had to call him. Now at that time, in February, the elections were on, and he was, whizzing around all over India. In fact, as if carrying the whole mountain with him, So we thought that, well, might as well invite him, so at least we will stand in the queue. There will be so many people inviting him, so we wrote in February to Amit Bhai that आपको हम बुलाएंगे, हमने तिथि भी तय कर दी है, which is 24th of April, which is presumptuous on our part to fix a date even. So, but to us the date is very important, hence we would like you to come and inaugurate the celebrations which the Prime Minister was supposed to do. We, of course, got a news very late that he is coming, and finally he said that I will come on the 24th. So now to us it was something quite amazing. I had left it open to him. 24th of April is what we want, but any other date that suits you. But he chose 24th of April. I don't think he knew why he is choosing 24th of April, only because we had invited him. So he said yes. 24th of April, sir, is a date which is very important to us. It is a date of the final victory of truth over falsehood, as the mother has said. And it is a day when people ask the mother, what is the importance of these certain dates? We talk about 15th of August, we talk about Swami Vivekananda's 150th birthday, this centenary, that centenary. What is so important on these particular dates that people come from thousands of miles all over the place just to be here on that date? Her answer was very beautiful, sir. Her answer was that on these dates, there is a concentration of divine forces, a definite, palpable concentration of divine forces. Divine forces that come close to us to help the elevation of consciousness of mankind at a universal level. And on Swami Vivekananda's 150th birthday, I remember we had brought out a special booklet because Sri Aurobindo had a very, very strong spiritual connection with Swami Vivekananda. For 15 days, Swamiji had visited him in the Alipur jail and told him what he was supposed to do. How Swamiji told him, how it happened, it was all internal, that thing took place. So these are moments where there is a great concentration of divine forces. See, on the one hand, there are divine forces and there are anti-divine forces. Anti-divine forces are not there just sitting idle, they oppose the divine forces. So we have to be very conscious of the presence of divine forces because we know that we stand on the other side and not on the dark side. So these days, the mother said, when we are open and accept and are conscious of the fact there is a concentration of divine forces, it really is, and you connect yourself to that. We have, sir, over 300 centers all over India. And on these days, each and every center is on the same wavelength, that this is a day which is God's day. we truly feel, that this is our date with God. 24th of April is our date with God. And sir, you have honored us by coming here, but I would say that you are privileged to be here today and receive this vibration that is happening today over here. I have something to say about our Prime Minister. It should not be misunderstood by certain sections. I have taken the permission of the Home Minister to say so. Somebody told me, and this is a lady who lives in England, has deep connections with India, of course, and she tells me, do you know, we have the first Indian Prime Minister. What a statement. If you go deep into this thing, the first Indian Prime Minister, what does that mean? Just what does that mean? If you look at the entire gamut of, I'm not saying, trying to degrade anybody. I'm talking of the Indianness aspect of it. Maybe great efficiency, great patriotism, I'm not talking of that. I'm talking of the Indianness of the Prime Minister. He is the first Indian Prime Minister, that I truly believe this. And I make this statement because a large number of people believe that. I hope this has your concurrence, sir. I have digressed a bit from the main theme of nationalism. Vijay Bhai has covered most of it, and I will mention just one thing about the society. Mother created the society for a specific purpose, and there is a specific mandate given to the society in our Memorandum of Association. Just one mandate, and that is to spread the message of Sri Aurobindo far and wide through every possible manner, in any multifarious activity that we can have, except only difference is that our attitude should be totally pure and dedicated and surrendered to the Mother. Every activity succeeds, because this is an offering to the Divine. Society was created as an offering to the Divine, and that was the mandate given to all of us who are working for the Divine in all our 300 centers. And I'm happy to say that each center has a personality of its own. Some grow through jnana, some grow through karma, some go through bhakti. In one way or the other, as Sri Aurobindo says, there is a machine with 3 levers, you pull one which suits you. And jnana will lead you to bhakti, and bhakti will lead you to karma, and karma will lead you to bhakti. At one point, all will come together, as the Gita also says. And that is the point of total enlightenment and peace that we talk of, sir. So, and here in Sri Aurobindo Society, we have pulled, sir, all 3 levers. One goes faster, one goes slower, depending upon the attitude, the personality of the person, the nature of the person, the background of the person. But all 3 levers have been pulled. And I therefore believe that we in the society are responsible to Mother herself directly, that we do exactly what she wants us to do. The ashram was created much earlier than the society. A specific job was given to the society, to the ashram, which is our parent body. I look at the ashram as our parent body. Our managing trustee is here, and I can't tell you how happy I am that he is on the dais. He is the head of our parent body. And therefore I believe he is also the head of the Sri Aurobindo Society. It's we may have separate legal entities. We may not duplicate our activities for a specific reason, that we are not supposed to do that. Mother created society for a specific experiment that she is carrying out in the ashram. Sri Aurobindo Society was created not as a trust but as a society. Now see the difference. What amazing material acumen the mother had. She had the experience of a trust, but she created a society. Why was the society created and not another trust? Because a society is totally open body, responsible to the whole world. Anybody can get up and ask a question about our balance sheet. Anybody can ask a question. We are totally responsible to the laws of the country and follow it. When somebody asked the mother, "Mother, we have come to your feet. अभी क्या ये हम लोग ये कानून है वो कानून है इसको करें उसको करें हम आपके शरण में आ गए आप संभालिए सब ये हमें why should we bother about it?" The mother said, "No, you have no right. You have not reached a stage where you can bring down your own law. You haven't reached that spiritual stage. Until then, you have to follow the laws as made by man. Otherwise, they will be the rule of the jungle." Those are his exact words. So my friends, I have to be very, very clear about this. We are a spiritual body working in a material world. And there we have to succeed. Sometimes the world opposes us through various laws, rules, regulations, traditions which don't suit us. But we have to work and we continue to work and bang our heads against it. Appeal to leaders like Amit Bhai and say, ये लॉ ठीक कराइए ना क्या मुसीबत है ये नहीं होता हमसे वो नहीं होता इसमें कुछ चेंजेस लाइए उसमें हम चिट्ठियाँ देते लिखते हैं कभी कभी जवाब नहीं आता है क्योंकि बहुत चिट्ठियाँ जाती हैं. But there is a problem that we face and we know this problem, we accept this problem and we cooperate with the government in this, that we will try our best to do. So but please also look at a situation where a spiritual institution with purity and sincerity is trying to work in a material world with difficult laws. Before I answer, I have one thing that I have wanted to mention. There is a project, sir, based on the Indian Constitution. Theme is nationalism, and our Constitution is not separate from nationalism. A friend of mine, a colleague, he's a lawyer in the Jaipur High Court, and he's a very big pillar of strength in our Jaipur, Rajasthan State Committee. So the Indian Constitution has 24 parts. He had an idea that as to what Sri Aurobindo has written 30,000 pages, what has he said about the Indian Constitution? He was working on it passionately. And he came to a certain, and a sort of, he sowed a seed which really appealed to all of us. That we did research on it, sir. And what the research is that the President, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, asked Nandlal Bose, the artist of Shanti Niketan, that I want you on the first page of each chapter to put a painting which would depict the concerned yuga. What is the time? Starting from Mohenjo-daro and going right to the end. And we have taken, after a research, quotations from Sri Aurobindo which are relevant to the time that as pointed out by Nandlal Bose. And this includes Mahabharata, this includes Ramayana, starting all the Chatur Yugas, and it's beautifully compiled book that finally came out with a lot of aspiration and love with us. That book is lying before you today. It is a research first of its kind ever done. मैं चाहूँगा कि आप इसको अभी खोलें प्लीज़ और इसको रिलीज़ करें और दिखाएं लोगों को कि हमने कितना प्रयास करके इस स्टेज तक पहुँचे. अमित भाई, थैंक यू वेरी मच। आपने इसको स्वीकार किया। ये एक कई महीनों, कई वर्षों की रिसर्च के बाद ये बनाई है, क्योंकि श्री अरविंद ने इतना कुछ लिखा है, उसमें से चुनना आसान नहीं था, वेरी डिफिकल्ट। एंड Sri Aurobindo is writing on an ocean of beauty, of wideness, of depth. To choose from that and to connect it to what the Sri Aurobindo Constitution was not an easy job. उसने उसके दिमाग में तो कीड़ा आ गया, बाकी हम लोग करना पड़ा सारा। So Sri Aurobindo Society, our functioning is like this: starts with an individual and grows into a collectivity, and that is how this research is taking place. And thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, Pradeep Bhai. Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed our honor and privilege to have with us today our distinguished chief guest, the Honorable Union Minister of Home Affairs, Shri Amit Shah. We are inspired by his long and dedicated service to Mother India and his exemplary leadership and organizational abilities. May I now request Shri Amit Shah to address the gathering.
मंच पर उपस्थित महामहिम डॉक्टर तमिलसाई जी, पांडिचेरी के मुख्यमंत्री श्री एन रंगास्वामी जी, अध्यक्ष पांडिचेरी विधानसभा श्री आर सेल्वम जी, पांडिचेरी के गृह मंत्री श्रीमान नमो शिवाय जी, अध्यक्ष श्री अरविंदो सोसाइटी प्रदीप नारंग जी, मनोज दास गुप्ता जी, पांडिचेरी विश्वविद्यालय के कुलपति गुरमीत सिंह जी, श्री अरविंद सोसाइटी के श्रीमान विजय पोद्दार जी, और आज देश भर से श्री अरविंद, उनके विचार और उनके संदेश को संरक्षण और संवर्धन करने वाले, उसका प्रचार और प्रसार करने वाले देश भर की संस्थाओं से आए श्री अरविंद के अनुयायियों को मेरा विनम्र प्रणाम। मैं 13 साल की आयु से सार्वजनिक जीवन में हूं। 17 साल की आयु में मैं राजनीति में आया। बचपन से ही युवक महोत्सव से लेकर कई जगह वक्तृत्व स्पर्धाओं के अंदर मैंने कई मेडल जीते हैं, मगर आज की सभा को संबोधित करना मेरे लिए बहुत कठिन है, क्योंकि जो श्री अरविंद के संदेश के लिए अपना जीवन जीते, श्री अरविंद के संदेश को घर घर तक पहुंचाने का प्रयास करते हैं, भारत के युवाओं को श्री अरविंद के संदेश से प्रेरित करने का प्रयास करते हैं, इनके सामने भला मैं कैसे श्री अरविंद पर बात कर सकता हूं। इसलिए मेरा मैं संकोच के साथ आपके सामने, आप सबके सामने बात करना चाहता हूं। मित्रों, आज मुझे जरूर बोलना है और मेरे की मन की भी इच्छा है कि आज मुझे बोलना चाहिए। श्री अरविंद के जीवन कवन, उनके संदेश, उनका जो कुछ लिखा हुआ है, जो कुछ बुला हुआ है, वो सारी चीजों को अगर एक वाक्य में समेटना है तो कोई कैसे समेट सकता है। मैंने अभी मंच पर ही बैठकर सोते सोते एक वाक्य